Hi there guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've got a few things I want to talk to you about today, three little news bits. First is some quotes from Diogo Jota back in Portugal in regards to how he felt when the news came out that Jurgen Klopp was stepping down as the Liverpool manager. FSG have hired Theo Epstein as some sort of senior advisor / owner, and he's going to be involved in the hiring of a new manager at Liverpool. And then lastly, there is another manager that we've mentioned before on this channel, and there's some reports coming out of Portugal in regards to Liverpool's interest in him. So firstly, let's do this Diogo Jota stuff. So he was talking to DAZN Portugal, and he's quoted by Abola, and he explained how tough it was for the Liverpool players to hear that, as it was an unexpected news for them all. And then he's quoted here as in saying, "It was a shock for everyone. That's the reality. I don't think anyone in the dressing room was expecting to hear that news, especially since this season is going so well, and it's not up to us to make that decision, just to accept it. It will be a problem later on, knowing who the coach will be next season and so on." Regarding the possibility of having a bigger motivation to win the Premier League for the manager, Jota claimed that's always the mentality at Liverpool. "We still have a lot to fight for this season." This is Jota, by the way. "So we have to focus on what we have to do on the pitch, and also, in a way, make his legacy more colourful with a few more trophies. That's what we want, just as we wanted before he announced his decision, because obviously we always want to win." Now, these comments are not as bad as, in my opinion, the Virgil van Dijk ones. I know we've had back and forth on this, and I know that Jota was not essentially asked the same question in regards to contract and blah, 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 blah. But the first initial quotes that Van Dijk said, I wasn't happy with, and then he has come out afterwards and said something else, which has kind of cleared it up a little bit, I guess. But still, that's a little bit better to hear, isn't it, in regards to that. And they've got the same mentality I had as soon as we had that Klopp news. If you look back on my video in the announcement to when Klopp was first stepping down, I basically said they've got to go out there now and win every single trophy they possibly can, and hopefully we'll go on to do that. Now that's that for that. Next up here, we'll talk about this Theo Epstein, who's been hired by FSG. Now, apparently, just to give a bit of background on this guy, he's returning to the FSG fold after he helped deliver the Red Sox a World Series title 20 years ago. He's back in Boston as a part owner, and he's joined them as a senior advisor, the company announced on Friday. The role comes with an ownership interest in FSG, giving Epstein a hand in the ventures across FSG's umbrella, including Liverpool, the Pittsburgh Penguins, RFK Racing, and Boston Common Golf. The size of Epstein's ownership, stake, and investment were not announced. Now, there's a lot of guff here in this article in regards to baseball and yada yada yada. Like, we're not interested in all that type of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So they've actually done another article in regards to his Liverpool role, and again, it all starts off with talking about his past. And just to scroll down a little bit further, it says that Epstein and Gordon have a long-standing relationship, according to a person with knowledge of the situation, with their connection dating back for years. Epstein was still with the Red Sox in 2010 when Liverpool was acquired by FSG, where Gordon has been a part of since 2001. Aside from working alongside Gordon on finding Liverpool's replacement for Klopp, Epstein will have a high-level consultation role on bigger picture endeavours and major strategic initiatives for FSG. Now, I've highlighted some bits I want to touch on in regards to Liverpool because it's kind of hidden in the article. So it says that Epstein played soccer in high school, football in high school, and still plays in Weekend League in Connecticut, near his home. He's also a fan of the English Premier League, and according to friends, he has followed Liverpool closely. Yeah, of course he has. Of course he has. As an executive, Epstein may not have a background in soccer. His knowledge of I'm reading it for verbatim, sorry guys, football. His knowledge of what it takes to lead an elite sports team, however, is likely to be valued by FSG as they try to fill critical vacancies at Anfield. Klopp will stand down as manager in May, we already know this, after 9 years in charge. Skip forward a bit. The search for a replacement has been led by Gordon and informed by club's data analysts who have been trying to match potential candidates with the profile of the squad. Xabi Alonso, a former Liverpool midfielder, now enjoying success with German club Bayer Leverkusen, is an early frontrunner. Liverpool also need a sporting director as a matter of urgency. The interim appointment of George Schmadtke has now departed, and they are pressing issues to resolve, including new contracts for 3 of the club's most important players. Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold all are free agents in July 2025. Now, I have no idea who this guy is, never heard of him before in my life, but it does sound like a very FSG thing to do, doesn't it? Like, bringing somebody who's got no expertise in the sport to oversee or help, advise, whatever, the appointment of a manager at Liverpool. Now, it said there they're going to go over data and everything like that, and data, it's the same no matter which way you look at it, in my opinion. It's maths is maths. And if he's a smart guy, he'll be able to figure it out. So maybe they're just bringing him in as like a third party. Well, it's not a third party because he works for FSG, but what's the word I'm looking for? Someone who's got no knowledge of the situation, and then they'll just put the data sheets in front of him and be like, he's got no emotional attachment to Liverpool, no emotional attachment to, say, Xabi Alonso, for instance, and they'll just put, right, this is Xabi, this is whoever, who would you pick based on these data sheets? And maybe that's what they're going to do for him. Give his opinion based that way, unbiased opinion, maybe that's what I'm looking for, potentially, yeah. Don't fill me full of confidence, to be fair, guys, not going to lie. But it is what it is, isn't it? We can't really do anything about it. They will do what they want to do. And then lastly, guys, we'll just cover this off. The record in Portugal. Now, the record in Portugal, and in fact, a lot of the Portuguese papers of later years have had their information about Liverpool, like, spot on. They were the first ones that reported the Darwin Núñez signing. They were the first ones to report the Luis Diaz signing. And other players that Liverpool have been linked with in Portugal, like Inacio, João Mendes, Manuel Ugarte, Mateus Nunes. All these reports came from Portugal first, and they've all proven to be factual that Liverpool had an interest in these players, or Liverpool signed these players. So, with that in mind, they are now reporting that Liverpool have yet to begin formal discussions with Ruben Amorim over filling their managerial position, though the Reds have learned when he will be ready to discuss a move. Liverpool are searching for a new manager after Jurgen Klopp announced he will be leaving Anfield at the end of the season. The German's contract lasts until June 2026, but he is running out of energy and does not want this to affect Liverpool's success. As would be expected, several highly impressive managers have been linked with the role, including Roberto De Zerbi, Ange Postecoglou and Thomas Frank. The frontrunner is thought to be former Liverpool star Xabi Alonso, who has done a brilliant job at Bayer Leverkusen, although he is not the only option from a European club that Liverpool are considering. It has emerged that Liverpool's owners, FSG, are interested in Amorim of Sporting Lisbon. Record have now provided an update on the situation. They dismiss recent suggestions that Liverpool are already in talks with the 39-year-old, as the tactician has told his agents he wants to wait until the summer before discussing his next move. Amorim is fully focused on helping Sporting end the campaign on a high. They currently sit top of the Portuguese league, 1 point ahead of Benfica, while they also remain in the Europa League and the Portuguese Cup. As such, Liverpool have to wait till the end of the season before they can negotiate with Amorim and try to get a deal for him over the line. Liverpool must spend 17 million to release him from his contract. There is a risk to the Reds landing Amorim, as he has never managed outside of his native Portugal, although he could still help Liverpool shine. Despite his young age from manager, Amorim has already built up a great reputation for having helped Sporting to win the league title, the Portuguese Cup and the Portuguese Super Cup in recent seasons. Amorim has a €20 million, £17 million release clause in his contract, but FSG might be willing to pay this if they decide on him as the best successor to Klopp. And that's the end of the article, guys. Now, there's a part of me that's kind of like, would he really wait till the summer to speak to Liverpool, yeah? It's a bigger club. Surely he doesn't necessarily have to speak to them. His agent can do it on his behalf. That's what he's paid for. On another side of it, I'm kind of also like thinking to myself, that's the type of attitude I like as well. Because just put it in other perspective, yeah? Say Liverpool weren't as big as they are and we had a manager like this and we were top of the league as we are now. We were in a potential to win a few other cups, and then say a club of our stature now came in to say, oh, you know what, we want you. And then he was just, you'd want your manager, you know, because you'd think as a fan of the club and blah, 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 well, this was inevitably going to happen, that someone bigger was going to come and take him. You would like the fact that he'd turn around and say, nah, wait till summer. The only thing that's potentially going to stop this is Liverpool need to obviously get something sorted out soon. So maybe they go do the sporting director now and then do the manager afterwards. You know, the sporting director would obviously come in and help get the transfer window underway. So that wouldn't stop that there. We also got to take the Euros into account this summer as well, which will obviously put a bit of a blocker on players moving that are going to go to the Euros, because they'll be focused on that. So it won't be too bad, I guess, if we were to wait till May to get this guy. He is in my top 3, to be fair, guys. Like, I think I said it yesterday in my video. I've got Xabi, I've got him, and I've got Hansi Flick. Julian Nagelsmann is also someone I'm watching, just because his contract expires in the summer as well. Might be worth keeping an eye on him, guys. You know, as I said previous to this, you know, the Portuguese newspapers have been pretty spot on of late in regards to Liverpool and Liverpool buying players and stuff like that. So yeah, if I were you guys, I would probably keep an eye on Ruben Amorim for the time being and see what happens there. Right then, guys, I'll probably leave that with you there. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one.